Okay, thank you for allowing me to do this. I'm going to jump right in because we got 12 pages. Probably take me about an hour and a half, maybe a little more to get through this, but I guess you could just look at the time scale and see that. Um, I don't know what you know about SEO. You did mention that you have SEM Rush, so clearly you know something about it. You did say you knew what a backlink was and all that stuff, so I'm not going to spend too much time on the basics. But what I'm going to go over here is a lot, right? And it's organized pretty good the first half, metadata schema, content, website performance, blah, blah, blah. But once we get going down here, it kind of just becomes a free for all. So it might seem a little unorganized towards the bottom, but there's not really, these are just observations that I come across as I'm doing, I spend a lot of time on this as I'm kind of rounding things up. So I apologize for that, but there's not really a good way to organize that towards the bottom, as far as I could tell. What I'm going to go over here, as you can see, SEO is probably, there's a big misunderstanding about what SEO is these days. A lot of it is off page, a lot of it is on page, some of it is off page and some of it is on page. A lot of it is the promotion, because SEO isn't really about tricking Google. You want to make sure things are proper, which we'll get into, but humans do review Google search results. They're called search engine evaluators. So if you just go to search engine evaluator job, there's thousands of people that get tasked by Google and Bing and whoever to review Google search results and make sure the results are accurate. So the days of manipulating the system are done. Those are long gone. So it's a lot more complex than it used to be, and hopefully you'll understand that as we go through this. And the other thing is, most people that do these things will give you a report, and they probably spend 30 minutes on it, and they'll give you a few pages, and that's it. I spend a lot of time on these because I like doing it, and I also give you a lot of different options. Just don't get frustrated because you can't do all these things. It's not possible to do all of these things unless you had, a full-time SEO person. So I'm telling you this, some people I can imagine, well, I know for a fact, some people that I've worked with get these presentations that I do and they get frustrated and don't do anything. Just don't do that. Take with what makes sense to you and work with some things I say. I mean, I'm not the all-knowing, whatever the word is I'm trying to think of. I don't know everything. Some of this stuff you might go, yeah, okay, well, that's not really my thing, and that's totally fine. So the point is just take what works for you and try it out for 3 months and see if it's working. If not, switch to something else. So let's jump right in. So what we want to do is, what are the top 3 factors according to Google? It's because Google's the main player, right? Google's generally between 80 and 95% of all traffic to websites. So the thing we've been told over and over again is content, right? I have some good content ideas for you because the reason it's all about user experience. Like if your website's filled with broken links and things like that, that's not a good, if it's slow, that's not a good user experience and Google's going to rank you lower. So if you have a lot of good content and people are reading your content, well, first number one, you'd want to upsell your products in the content for the content ideas I have. And I mean, I don't know your business model and you probably know about things that I can't even think about, but I'll just give you some of my ideas. But let's say you just did a content piece on the top 10 Father's Day gifts for 2020, right? Or whatever holiday's coming up. That's another way for people to find you because people are searching on Father's Day, best Father's Day gifts 2020. So they would come and read your list, and on your list, it wouldn't be all your products. You would list 1 or 2 of yours in the product list in the article. And then you would, link out to other stuff on Amazon or whatever and get that affiliate credit if you wanted to do it that way, whatever. But you need to create as many vectors as possible for people to reach your site. You don't want to think about your site just as a place where people can find your products. You also want to be a good information resource for product information. And that'll get people to your site. And then when they're on their site, hopefully you can convert them into people buying your products. So it's a mind shift. Like, for example, if I was selling a program to help computer software to help somebody debug Windows, like debug Windows operating system, so just to troubleshoot I'm not sure how technical you are, to fix problems on a Windows computer. I would have a bunch of articles on troubleshooting this problem, troubleshooting that problem, troubleshooting this problem, troubleshooting that problem. And in the articles, I would upsell my product. So that's not a direct comparison, obviously, but that's the mindset you got to kind of get in. is that you have to create assets to attract people to your website. And the more people that come to your website and read your reviews and read your, your lists and things like that, you're building up that topical authority on gift baskets, on holidays, on things like that. And the higher Google is going to rank you when somebody is searching for gift baskets. So you have to keep that in mind. Like if you start getting 1,000 visitors today just to your blog, which I mean, I'm not saying that would take years and years to get there probably. Well, not necessarily, but it probably would. Google's going to say if somebody's reading a content piece about Father's gift ideas that you have a content piece on, the next time somebody searches for Father's gift basket, Google's going to understand that you have a topical authority for Father's Day gift basket because so many people are reading that piece of content on your website, and hopefully it's going to rank you higher for your actual products themselves. So content, that's what we hear. It's just nowadays it's all about content, and it stinks because that's one of the more time-consuming things to do, but it is important. So metadata. So what metadata is, if I search for a gift basket, you may know this. I'll just go over briefly with you real quick. So this is like the meta. This is the meta title. Meta title, and this is the meta description. So you can see if the title's too long, it'll truncate. It'll put ... at the end. Being truncated is not a problem as long as you make sure everything that needs to be said is said in the title before it truncates, right? Same thing with the meta description. This is your advertisement to the world about what this result is. So this needs to be thought about really carefully. And you can see it also ... it also truncates here if it's too long. Again, it's okay for it to truncate, but just make sure whatever is in your meta description describes what the result is. Nothing wrong with it truncating. And number 3 is performance. And you are on Shopify. I believe it was Shopify. Let me do this. Do this. Yeah, and I don't prepare these presentations. I kind of take all my notes and I just start going. Because people say they like to hear me think out loud. So it's kind of, it'll maybe make the presentation about 10 minutes longer. But, I can imagine you may see this go, oh, okay, I didn't know I could do that. I could see what websites are built with. So anyway, let me just make sure, see your Shopify. So unfortunately, Shopify, as far as I know, doesn't have a lot of ways to optimize JavaScript and CSS and stuff like that, like WordPress does. But thankfully, and we'll get into this, your website is pretty quick. It's good enough. I mean, I'd like to see this synthetic test not show up as 10 seconds, but it is what it is. But there's some things we can work on. We'll get to all that. So that's that. So nobody really knows, right? Google's algorithm is secret. There's hundreds of ranking signals. So generally not one thing you do is going to make a difference. It's going to be a lot of things, but nobody really knows. They tell us, here and there we find out like a new something like every few months. We'll go, okay, now that's confirmed that matters, and that doesn't matter. We need to stop focusing on that, but nobody really knows. So I can't give you like a foolproof roadmap. And the outdated techniques don't work. The buying backlinks, the keyword stuffing. So just keep in mind, whatever you do, it needs to seem legitimate, because a human eventually will come to your website. And if they see you bought 1,000 backlinks from some like Russian websites or some websites in Mexico or Portugal or Kenya or wherever, they're going to rank you down to low. If not, it's very possible they could penalize you. And I worked with 2 clients, I think it was last year. Actually, I can't remember the number. I think it was 2, at least 2. One of them, they got penalized for buying backlinks. One of them got it back pretty good after about a year. The other one, after about a year, and things not getting back together, just completely removed their website and started back over again. So that's how serious it can get. So the goal of SEO is to drive traffic, which leads to sales, right? So, and it goes back to what I said earlier. The idea is just to drive traffic to your website, right? So remember, keep in mind when we go over some things, you might wonder how is that going to improve you in the search? Like, okay, that's good. It'll help me get traffic, but how does that improve me in the search results? Because again, the more people that come to your website and actually digest and actually use your website doing whatever, the higher you're going to appear in the Google search rankings, because Google is determining that your site, is valuable for the topics you're trying for it to be valuable about. So there's the on-page stuff, which is pretty straightforward, the keywords. Oh, and back to, so when I say do things natural, like I do like, I write it, when I'm writing like a piece of content, I write it very naturally, but then I will go back and I will write content to where there's whatever keywords I'm focusing on. It'll have like a keyword density of like 1 to 2%. So if I'm like at 0.5%, I will just go and find out where I can change maybe like if I was writing about dogs, I might say they. And I would change they to dogs. You understand what I'm saying? So you can want to tweak it a little bit, but you want to make sure if anybody's reading it, it seems natural. So you need to be mindful of it, but you don't want to, you want to write your article naturally and then go back after the fact and, reviewing a 1,000-word piece of content and shifting it around will probably take you an extra, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 minutes. After a while, you'll just know to do it as you're doing it. It'll become second nature. So, but it just needs to read natural. And then it takes time. This link is dead. I'm not going to look at that. Basically, what that link was going to show you, it's a growth chart. Let me just. Well, no, I'm just going to go ahead and explain it to you. So, there's going to be ebbs and flows in growth. You're going to be doing fine for 2 months. Then for 1 month, you're going to start going downhill and you're going to freak out. And that's just the way it is. Don't change anything because your traffic's going down for a month or two. I look at things in 3 to 4 month increments. If not, you're just going to possibly just confuse Google anymore. So the thing is to keep in mind is don't panic and don't expect things to improve quickly. If you consistently put a lot of work into this, generally things take a lot of times 6 months for it to start paying off, because sometimes 3 months. It just all depends. So what happens is people start doing things. They start like spending more time on their website for these type of things, and they get really frustrated after like 2 months because it's hard work, and then they just stop and they never see things pay off. It's almost like I wonder if Google's like sits and just waits for websites to see if they will continue to like create useful content or whatever's useful in like people searching for, you know what I mean? Wonder if there's some kind of algorithm that just sits back and checks and waits and sees. And then if you just totally abandon your website, you're just never going to increase in the ranking. So this is the basic formula for any type of website that I use, and it works very, very well. You want to create content. So for example, it would be really good on Facebook to advertise for a Father's Day gift basket on Father's Day. Obviously, that would be really, really cool. Really, really easy to do. It shouldn't be that hard to really make that it shouldn't be that hard to make a little money off that, right? As long as you got a cool gift basket and you have really cool gift baskets. However, what I like to do, I like to post a good content piece. So I run this blog and I don't pay much. I haven't really been able to give much attention to it lately. It's basically just random questions that you probably ask yourself when you're driving in your car. Like, why does the word kernel pronounce like it has an R in it? Does black forest ham come from a black forest? Whatever. I forgot where I was going with that. Let me go back here. Oh, it's back to the Facebook thing. So what I would do is definitely advertise your product, and that's fine. But I would have a post on where did I have a post on Mother's Day, right? So like, whoops. So my website is I'm not a developer. I'm not trying to show off my website, but this is the website I use for like when I'm doing demos and stuff to kind of show how to set things up for other things. So where did Mother's Day come from? And that ad isn't showing up there for whatever reason. So this is something I would create a post like this on your blog, on your website, and then within the content pieces where you advertise your product. So this goes back to my point about Facebook. Rather than selling the gift, because people just tune out ads nowadays. A lot of times they do, and of course, it may be what I'm telling you might be the complete inverse for you. You know what I mean? One thing doesn't work in all worlds, for all industries, or even specific businesses. So, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I got a call I have a sick cat, and I got a call from my veterinarian. So I don't exactly remember where I was, but I was talking about promoting content to upsell the product. Because more people are prone to click on a story that kind of piques their interest than they are an advertisement, something that's obviously selling them something. So it's just another way to think about doing it. It's just something you want to keep in mind. So you want to create the content. You want to have good content, and it's like, Well, we'll get into this. And then you want to promote it, whether it's paid or not paid. And then you want to deliver it on a fast web server and a website that looks really good. And yours is pretty good speed, and it looks really good for the most part. There's a few things we'll go over. So content, it's all about the niche, and you have a cool niche, but I definitely think you could be even more niche, and we'll get into it below. So if you're wondering what to write about, there's multiple ways you could look at this. So you could do like, if you search for gift basket, these things are called, based on this seed word, these are Google auto-suggesting things, ideas, delivery, etc. So you can use a really cool website called Answer the Public, and you can type in Father's Day, Mother's Day, gift basket, Valentine's Day, any of the keywords of the products you're selling. So let's see what pops up. So this uses the Google seed word of gift basket, and this gives all the Google auto suggestions. So what to buy? Okay, that's not any good. What are good gift basket ideas? That would be a good content idea piece. And content on how to create a gift basket business would be really good. I'm sure a lot of people are searching for that. Let me see, how to start a gift basket business. Boom, that's what you want. This would be really good. How to arrange a gift basket. I guess that, to me, you just throw the things in there, but I'm sure there's like an official way to do it. How to pack, how to start that right there, boom. How to wrap the gift basket, how to make a gift basket, blah, blah, blah. So these are okay. These aren't as good as I would have hoped, but we'll get to more ways. Let me just show you what I would do. So let's say I found how to start a gift basket business. So how do I determine if this is something to write about? First of all, is this exact question or very close to it answered? How to start a gift basket business. So it is exactly answered. The next thing you want to look at is, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't write about it, but just know that it is directly answered. And look, this is pretty close as well. Next thing you want to do is I use these two extensions, one called Mozbar, one called SEO Quake. I use as many free products as possible. So what you do is you want to look at the top result. So the first result, you can't get this tool, these bars underneath it, just the way it works. So you have to go up here to the actual extensions and get the data. So what I do is I look at the first 5 results, and I look at what's called the domain authority. Like it's 1 through 100. This is from Moz, so it's 92. And in SEO Quake, this is called a domain score. They kind of measure the same thing, but the way they compute them is different. And Google doesn't use these metrics, but I'm sure it uses something similar. So what I do is I just kind of take the average. So we're looking at about 80. So what I'm doing here is the question answered, and then I want to know how authoritative are the domains that are answering the question. Because if it's answered, but the domain that's answering it is an 11 and a nothing, so it's like a 5, that's something I would write about. Because even though it's answered, it's a lot easier to compete for getting you on that search result, because the domains answering the question are very low. Now, if you see like a YouTube answer as the first result, or a Quora or a Reddit, that's a sign to you that that's something you could write about, because those are non-authoritative answers. Like Quora or Reddit, those are user-contributed answers. So let's look at this one. So we know the first result, how stuff works. I mean, so we could go up here. Well, I'm not going to go to, it's probably something like 73, and it's probably around 70. You know what I mean? So that's pretty high. The second one is 65 and 92, so about 80. Next one is domain score that doesn't have a domain authority. Why is, okay, these, sometimes Moz can flake out a little bit. Let me, okay, 92. So, okay, the first one is 92 and 65, so that's about 80. That's really high. 50 and 67, so that's pretty, it's 56, something like that, or whatever, 58. 27 and 40, this is pretty low. 3 and 18, okay, this is very low. 3 and 18, let me see if we can zoom in and make sure you can see this. Small Business Chron, okay, this is a subdomain of the Houston Chronicle. So even though it's a high domain authority, it's still a subdomain, which actually doesn't mean it's still actually under their umbrella. So It's making money, mommy 22. So this is low. So this is I would write this content piece just because I think it's a good foundational piece of content to have on your website. But ideally, what you want to look for are topics that the first result, let's say, is like, let's say the top 5 results are, a lot of times you're just going to have a 90 and an 80. There's just no way of getting around it. So you could, if the top 5 were like 63, 94, 12, 23, 32. That would be that's something you could compete for easier than if the top 5 were 92, 65, 83, 91, 86. That would be very hard. Ideally, if you could find 5 under 50, but that's just getting really, really hard. So let's just go back here real quick. Let's do this. You get 2 free searches per day on Answer the Public. So you could just use like a VPN or Tor to get more than 2. So let's do Father's Day. So what I mean, Tor, it's the Onion router. It's just like it's a privacy network. We don't want to get too geeky. A privacy network channel, a private internet, anonymous internet connection, network connection, I should say. But it's generally slower because your connection's going through a bunch of different routers. So let's see. Father's Day came up with a lot of good stuff. Can Muslims celebrate Father's Day? That's really interesting. Can Father's Day fall on June 22nd? I don't know. Will Father's Day have these? That's interesting. And you might think, well, okay, that's kind of a silly question. But these come up because this is what people are searching for. So it could be silly, but people are searching for it. Where did Father's Day come from? That's really interesting. Like I would think stuff like, do they celebrate Father's Day in India? Oh, look, how is Father's Day celebrated in India? Let's probably do that one, just since I said it. There's all kinds of stuff, right? Let's actually go to the one that says, can Muslims celebrate Father's Day? So let's look at this. So can Muslims celebrate Father's Day? So it is answered here, but since this is the actual query people are typing in, and the actual the words of the title of the post aren't this, it's something that you might want to do, because this is the words people are actually typing in. Even though it looks like it's answered here, this is actually pretty direct. So it looks like okay, so this is related to Islam. So what I would do here, this is probably something I'd write about, because what I'm doing, I'm saying, okay, the domain authority is 56 and 23. So that's about, what, 40? That's not that good. Look at this, 17 and 40. So this is about 30. That's a really good, 30, 39, whatever it is. That's a good low rating. Look, 18 and 40, that's another low rating. And nobody is directly answering this exact question. Of course, it's bad English. So can a Muslim celebrate Father's Day? So this would be a good content piece to write about. Then when you write it, of course, what you want to do is link out to your Father's Day products. One of these, or actually perhaps this entire category, this whole collection of Father's Day products here. And anytime you mention in one of your blog posts, like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Happy Halloween, whatever, you always want to link to your product, because that's a signal to Google that all these pages that say Father's Day link back to this one page. This page must be a very authoritative page for Father's Day, right? So that's the thought there. So where else to get content ideas? So I use Answer the Public a lot. And you can also do like gift basket, and you can use SEO's Keyword Surfer. And I have Keywords Everywhere. Now, Keywords Everywhere costs, where is it at? I have so many extensions. Where's the K? Right here. It costs a few cents every time you do this, so it's not something you want to leave on, even though I had it left on. So you could look at these suggestions over here. Gift basket delivery. Harriet, what is that? Thank you. Do you have any thank you gift baskets? Okay, those aren't really good content ideas, but these are keywords I want to know people are searching on, because I need to incorporate these keywords into my product pages. Get well, unique gift baskets. See, that's like, I got a good idea for some unique gift baskets. Gift basket idea. This would be a really good content piece. What are some good gift basket, unique gift basket ideas? Candy baskets for delivery. Best luxury gift baskets. So I'm finding good keywords here for products, but nothing related to content so much. So let me turn off keywords everywhere because it does cost money, like I said. And we're going to turn off Mozbar as well. And you can see how this turned to a number. I don't know if you can see it. If you toggle it, then whatever website you're on, you're going to see the ranking of that website up here. See, this is 13. So another place to go, you go to Soovel. So what you're doing with this content, you're finding out people are searching for it. Then you're finding out you're going to have a higher chance to rank for it by qualifying it and making sure. So you're not just randomly writing stuff. First, you want to make sure you're writing something that people are actually searching for. Secondly, you want to make sure you're writing something that you have a high chance of ranking for, right? So gift basket. So let's look at these. Gift basket for kids, for women, reaction, gift basket reaction videos. That'd be kind of funny, I guess. Craft, Iglesias, whatever, boyfriend, rapping. Let's keep going. Men, coffee gift baskets for men. Okay, still not that good at content. So this is what I always tend to end up at Quora. Because Quora is a question and answer site, so you search for gift basket. What's the base way to wrap a gift basket? That's kind of broad, but it's something people are asking. See, this could go back to that other content piece. How do I start a gift basket business? So if you had that content piece, you would come here, and what I like to do, look, there's only one answer. So you can find something with just one answer. That's a perfect place for you to post in. So what you would do, you would come here and kind of summarize your story. And then at the bottom, so what I do, I have burner accounts for all these social websites. Sometimes I want it to make it look like I'm coming from my I'm posting as a owner of a website. Sometimes I want to be like a random person. The overwhelming majority of the time, I just want to make it seem like I'm a random person. So I would write a little kind of like this, step 3 and step 4. Then as you're writing, link to your website in here. Your first link should be to your website. And keep going. And then do another link, but make sure it's to a website that isn't yours, because that'll make you seem a lot less spammy. Or you could write the content piece and just do source your website, source another website, like references, kind of like this. At the bottom, I have these references, something like that, right? Now I add references and I add these interesting facts because it gives me a few. Google tends to like longer articles, so it gives me a few extra words, and also it's external linking opportunities, and also it makes my content more trustworthy. But back to Quora. So this is good. So if you didn't have this content piece, this is something that you want to go write on this content piece, right? Let's keep going. Where can I find the gift basket? I mean, this is a no-brainer here. What is the This is really good. What is the history of gift baskets? So back to my blog again. I don't know 90% of the answers that I'm answering here. Like, why do members of the military salute each other? I had no idea. I had to go research it. So why I'm telling you this is you don't have to know the answers to this stuff. Well, not that one. The history of gift baskets. So all you do is just type in the history of gift baskets. Or where did gift baskets come from? So boom. So what I would do, when I create my stuff, I generally go to these, I take the top 3 or 5 websites on this topic, and I read through them. Then I summarize, because these posts are really short on purpose, because the purpose of this is to concisely answer those random questions, right? So all you got to do is get the answer from these top 3 websites and just summarize it. You don't have to be like a brainiac and know all this stuff. Look at this. The bizarre history of gift baskets. And then I would reference this stuff at the bottom as well, because it adds legitimacy to the post. And also, when you have this, it would be like, I always like doing my posts of where, what, how, why. People are typing this stuff all the time into Google. So rather than just saying, the history of gift baskets, I would not have a blog post called that. I would say, where did gift baskets come from? You want to have it be what people are typing. Like, people type now what's in their head. It's not like 15 years ago where you had to do like gift basket origin history. You know what I mean? It's like the exact question. So where did gift baskets come from? So then you go down the whole qualifying process again. Boom, boom, boom. It's answered here from halegroves.com. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but I wanted to see what the Moz rating is. I'm sure it's low. 48. So that's higher than I thought, but it's still not high, right? But you're not going to be able to, your domain authority on your website is still really low because it's new. Yours is only a 2 or a 5 maybe. So you're not going to be able to get to the top immediately anyway. This is a slow burn. This stuff takes time, long time, months and months and years to get things. Look at this, 81, 80s, blah, blah, blah. But these aren't answering. See here, starting with result 4, it's not even addressing the question. So even though they're high, so it all depends. Even though the domain score, even though these are low domain scores, like here it's starting to get higher, but it's not answering the question. So that's kind of how you do it. And then, I mean, I have hundreds of content ideas written down. And what I do is when I'm driving, if I think of something, I just use my voice to record it, you know, as a calendar entry and then add it to my list later. Because the overwhelming majority of good content ideas you're going to have, it's while you're driving or you're in the shower or something. So just, if you're cool, like if your phone allows you to make mental notes, vocal notes, then do it. If not, always have a pen and paper handy. Because content is that important these days. It drives that traffic to your website. Let me pause it real quick. Okay, so that's that. The more niche the content pieces are, the better. It's the whole long tail keyword stuff. It's like, for example, it'd be very difficult to have a bookstore online and sell books. It'd be a little easier to have an online bookstore called for mystery books. It would be even easier to have Saudi Arabian mystery books, right? So the more niche you get, the easier it's going to be to rank. A couple of content ideas, like product reviews. So the upsell's natural here. So what I mean by this is in these cool baskets, you have all these individual products. Is that your website? Yeah. All these cool little products. So why not, I guess it doesn't matter which one I choose. You have these products here. Let me pause it real quick. Okay, so I can't totally see it. Whoops, let me go back out. Whoops. This Ocean Hand and Body Lotion. Why not do a review on that? And then in your review, you'd want to link to this box with it in it, right? And then also in your product description over here, and these descriptions are pretty good. I'd like to see a few more, including a few more keywords. Like for example, so this is my perfect man. It doesn't mention Father's Day in here anywhere. It doesn't mention, I don't think it does. Right. So if somebody searched for Father's Day gift box, this would not pop up. I mean, it might. Go figure things out. But okay, it is here in the Father's Day category. But I would like to see the keyword Father's Day gift over here as well. But so where it says pre-shave oil, peppergreen, whatever that is, supply, you could link out to your review there. Or, you know, it could be in parentheses like, you know, like something like that, right? So that they'll each of them will benefit each other. So I think that would be where you can get a lot, because people are always searching for reviews for products. So let's search for, I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming it's a company. Of course, when I type it, there's no. Let's go back here. This is the kind of stuff that happens when you don't test anything. Let's go back here. What is this? Whitaker's. And even if you don't, if you've never tasted these things, you can go look at reviews from other people's websites. Look, you could go to Amazon and kind of read through what people said. What you're doing is you're building that content structure up, and you're creating more you're creating more clickable assets for Google to index. So you get the idea, right? Here, okay, here's a product review, right? So you could kind of read through this. Hopefully you would just try it, and you slowly over time, over multiple years, it would take to get through all this stuff. But it's something that it's a perfect content opportunity. It fits right in. It's like hand in glove, as they say. Now, lists are always good. Best Father's Day gifts 2020. Now, what you want to do, you want to make sure of 2020, the content says 2020, but then also when the year changes, you need to set up a calendar reminder. I have like 100 and, I don't know, is it 80 calendar reminders starting in November to start every single article I have that's date sensitive. For example, let me just do this. How many World War II veterans are still alive in 2020? You do not ever want this to appear in the year 2021. You want to make sure you come. So the URL, you don't want to say 2020 because eventually it's going to be 2021. You want it to be that, but then you want this content to be 2020. And you want in here to say 2020. The reason is Father's Day gifts. Watch. If you do best Father's Day gifts, let's look at the first result. Esquire and then today.com. If you search for, generally you get a whole different set of results. Okay, the Esquire is still the top, but Good Housekeeping is now second. Because look, all these specifically put 2020 in their title. And people search with 2020. Right? So it's very important to do that. So hopefully that makes sense. So what I'm saying is you could have the top 10 Father's Day gifts, Halloween surprises, birthday gifts, whatever, and do some reviews of some really good products that you really like, but throw your product in that list as well. And then anything related to the holidays, related to the gifts you sell. So you have gifts for, bar mitzvahs, perhaps. You have gifts related to where do bar mitzvahs come from, Easter baskets, Father's Day, Mother's Day, graduation, any kind of content related to any of that stuff whatsoever are good content ideas. So there's really an infinite amount of things you could write about, right? Just go plug in. I mean, you could even go to a tool called Ubersuggest. Well, you go to, if you Google, you need to have a Google Ads account, and you had to have run one ad, but you can run an ad for like $5 to be able to use Keyword Planner. But what you could do is, and you could also use Ubersuggest, but it's limited. It doesn't have all the features. Go to Discover New Keywords, and you could go Father. So this won't be available until you run an ad. But you could run, again, like I said, an ad for $10 or $5. So you could see, and there's all kinds of, these are also keywords you want to consider putting into the layout for this website's horrible, into your products as well. So gift ideas for dad, Father's Day presents, best Father's Day gifts 2017. Let's see. Cheap Father's Day gifts. That's really good. That would be a good content piece. Cheap Father's Day gifts 2020. I'm looking for content ideas though. First Father's Day. So that would be, so you just have to look through this stuff. Mexican Father's Day. Let's learn about Mexicans Father's Day. Unique Father's Day gifts. That would be a good list to have. Best unique Father's Day gifts for 2020. That would be awesome. Cool gifts for dad 2020. All this kind of stuff. So the other one I was going to talk about would be Ubersuggest. It's free. It's limited. So you could do, you could do gift basket here, Mother's Day, whatever, all kinds of stuff. But I'm not going to sit here, waste your time going through them one by one. You'll get the idea just by watching this one. And then you could use Ahrefs as a tool. I'm showing you kind of the free options. So Father's Day gifts, let's show all keyword data, and it's going to be limited. Father's Day quotes. What are the best Father's Day quotes, right? So you're just building up authority on these topics. Personalized gifts is good. Card ideas, unique gifts, funny quotes, clip art. You could have a good collection of Father's Day clip art. go over some Father's Day Bible verses. What are the top Father's Bible verses related to Father's Day? The top verses related to Father's Day in the Bible. So this is the stuff you just have to dig around and find out what people are searching on, and then qualify it by putting in there and looking at the domain rating, etc., etc. That's that. Hopefully that helped. These are the two extensions I went. Now Quora went there. Reddit has all kinds of things. Reddit has all kinds of subreddits, Facebook groups. So, I mean, you could just go. And I don't know the subreddits. You understand your industry more than I do. So, these basket. There's a groups that are subreddits for everything. So, for example, let's see. Groups. Look at these groups, gift basket business. This is where I would use well, maybe not in this one because it's business related. I'd go in there and you could actually use, don't use a burner account for that. That would be something you'd want to do with your own account. So see what all this stuff's about. This is actually a really good keyword, quarantine gift baskets. That's really, I can't tell you what to do in these. But because I don't know what's going on inside them. You just need to go in and find out, feel around. Before you start spamming your stuff, not spamming, before you start advertising your stuff, you want to just become part of the community. And so I would have to join. And like stuff, comment on stuff. And then before you post anything, you might even want to reach out to the group owner and say, hey, do you mind if I link to my product or, with my gift basket? You could also send a gift basket to the group owner if it's a very popular one, because that's going to give you a lot of eyeballs on it. So that's increasing brand exposure as well. So you can see this is all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So there's just all kinds of places you can be. That's that. I would definitely put a frequently asked question on your website. So when you're writing your content, more your product information as well, but content, Google tends, this is a very short article. Let me go find one that's a little bit longer. The higher a keyword appears on a page, Google seems to think it's more meaningful to that page. So does gum, you want gum in the title, you want the keywords in the title, you want them in the URL, which you don't always have. You want them in the image name, you want them in the image alt tags, and you want them to appear right up here in the first 2 or 3 sentences, and then also 1 to 2% of the time total. I would also throw it here in the second paragraph, and as you go along, your gum, chewing gum, as you go along, right? So that's the point I'm trying to make is Google. The higher a keyword appears, the algorithm tends to think that it's more important to what the page is about. So just keep that in mind as you're writing content. You definitely want to have it in the URL, the title, the meta description, the image, the alt tag, in the preferably first sentence, if not in the first 2 sentences, then in the second paragraph, maybe once or twice, then as you go along. But then you just want to let's just do this real quick. Keyword density check. There's one from, now if you did this with, it's one called Ninjas or something. There it is. If you did this, if you had WordPress, there's a tool built in that does this for you, but I don't know how you would do it on Shopify. So you could just plug it in. You could go here. And look, I'm actually under on this page, so I'm telling you to do something that, oh, here we go. So gum is actually too high. Okay, this is fine because chewing gum, either the main word or synonyms, right? Even though it actually still is too high. So I'm totally giving you advice that I'm not even following here. Let me see. Oh, okay, look, chewing gum, 1 point. You get the idea. I think actually this page might be okay. Because chewing gum, bubble gum can all be the same thing, blah, blah, blah. But this, I mean, it doesn't always have to be exact, but this is the kind of stuff, if this was a business website, I guarantee you I would be more aware of these type of things. But this doesn't really, I get some money off ads here, get some people on my mailing list, but I don't really make that much money on it, so I'm not really spending that much time optimizing a lot of things, as much as I should. But that's where you can check keyword density. For a business, I would definitely spend time on doing stuff like this. Now, ebooks are really good because your newsletter sign up as gets lost down here, like most people's do. But the reason you want to create a free ebook is because it's going to get people to sign up for your newsletter, right? That's generally people are willing to give you something if you give you something in return, if you give them something in return. So they're a lot less likely to sign up for your newsletter unless you're giving them something of value. That's where these free ebooks come into play. Like these free, not like 100 pages, I'm talking 5 to 10 pages. The only thing that came to mind would be like the ultimate gift guide for 2020, something like that. You could write a little 10-page ebook. And again, you don't have to know all this stuff. You can just search for ultimate gift. Kind of like your list that I'm talking about. Look at this, boom. So you could have, and then obviously you want to, I wouldn't put my products first because I want it to seem like a legitimate gift guide, and it should be an ultimate gift guide. But you want to definitely mention your products in the gift guide. So give me one moment. And you can see how bad this is. I think it said 2020 in the search result. Whoops. Oh, it didn't. Okay. See how it totally changed based on the 2020? So there's probably other gift idea. That's just the first one that came to mind. Again, not totally obviously in the business of gift baskets, but there's something, the ultimate guide to making gift baskets or something like that, right? Something that people are going to want and they'll sign up for your email. And so when they sign up for your email newsletter, that's where obviously you market to them and stuff. Now, internal and external links are very important. Internal, like linking back to your products from your blog posts and stuff, is just signaling to Google what's what, right? External links are a signal to Google that you're part of the web and you want to help people get around. So every article I have on my website here, I'm always linking to stuff. Not because, I am a nice guy, but I'm not doing it to be nice. I'm specifically doing this because it's helping with it helps with ranking. And I do like people being able to click on San Francisco Bay and going, okay, what's the San Francisco Bay, right? Things that seem obvious to me might not make sense for somebody reading this from like Malaysia, like Gold Rush. That makes sense to me and you probably, or you and I, but you're in Canada. I guess you know what the Gold Rush is, right? I sound like a dumb American, but hopefully you get the idea. And then make sure you don't have any broken links. Now I use Screaming Frog, which we'll get into in a little bit here. I don't think, you don't have any broken links, which is good. And you don't have any redirect, which is good. Now in WordPress, there's a plugin that you can run that just checks, it's constantly checking for broken links. It goes through all the broken, based on a certain threshold. Like if the server's busy, it's not going to do it. But with Shopify, you'd either need a tool like this, Screaming Frog, or you could do like there's like all kinds of free websites that can do this, but it's going to be a lot more manual unless there's some type of plugin. Let me just do this. Shopify broken links. Okay, look, there is something called Link Manager. Boom. So this is something, now this might cost something. It's limited to 50 pages. Okay. Yeah, you got to pay. This is things I don't like about Shopify. That's really expensive too. Wow. So it's just something, however you got to do it, you just got to be aware of it and make sure you don't have a lot of broken links. Okay. Ideally, one piece of content per week is good, but that's a lot of work. A piece of good content can take half a day, even more to get done. So if it's just you and maybe one other person or two other people, that's not something you're going to get to be able to do. You could do something more like every 2 to 3 weeks, but just kind of stay on a schedule. So if you have a lot of energy one day and you write 2 pieces of content, just schedule one out. Now you could hire like a person on Fiverr. You give them a topic and you could just search for, I work with a guy, but I can't give you his name just because he's totally busy and then he wouldn't be able to deliver my stuff. But what you could do, SEO content writer. I think I misspelled that. Yeah. So what you want to do, of course, just look at the reviews. I will be your technical SEO contact writer. So what I do, anytime I'm starting something new, I would reach out to like 5 of these to write a content piece. And maybe just 3, depending on what you can afford, and have them write the same content piece. Whichever one is the best, that's the one you want to hire. Now, you may get 2 that are very similar, so you just take those, and then you do the same again with those 2, or whatever, until you break it down. And it's always good to have a good backup content writer as well. Because $25 seems expensive, but you're going to, I mean, if it's going to take you generally at least 4 hours to write a good piece of content. So if you think about it on an hour by hour basis, that's working a lot less than what your pay grade is, I'm sure. Yeah, so that's how you do that. And you want to make sure you keep content updated. So what I do, let me show you how I do this. And I'll explain why this is important. And my back end WordPress is really slow right now, so ignore how slow this is. Let me get a sip of water while it's doing that. Okay, I don't know how you do this in Shopify. What I like to do is I go to date. Can you even have a Shopify blog? Okay. Oh, that's the actual blog for Shopify. Okay, why you should be blogging on Shopify. Okay, so there is some kind of blogging mechanism. Okay, so what I do is so it's going to be something similar to this. Obviously not the same. I go to my post and I go look for I don't like things to get older than like 3 years old. So I think everything of mine is within the last 2 years, I think. So this was from last modified, I'm sorry. My oldest something is, even though I started doing stuff back in 2017 on this site, this was last updated May 19th, 2019. Why is hydrogen peroxide sold in brown bottles? So what I do is I go to it. This is how you'll also make sure you're not just going to open it and save it, and it's going to show that it's been modified more recently. And I'm not going to do this with you watching because it's going to take forever. I would go read through this, and if you have Grammarly installed, which we haven't even got to yet, of course it's not working. Okay, there we go. It's starting to pop up. Into water because it can decompose. Okay, that's right. So we're going to dismiss this. That's Grammarly coming up. So let's do. This is Grammarly helping with grammar and spelling. It's an awesome extension. So what I do, I go here, make sure everything looks good. Any dates, anything I need to change, and I would spend more time on this if I was doing this for real. All the spacing looks good, links look good, no broken links, all the references look good. Good, okay. Then what I do is I save it. Now the reason you want to do this is because if Google's trying to determine if it's going to display your result or another result, and yours is more recent than the other one, then it's going to display yours. So what happens, and I don't know how technical you are, but if you look at the view, and you can see I have a little plugin that shows last modified here. Whoops. What's happening? View source. There's a meta modified property called last modified time, and you can see that's today. So that's what Google's looking at to see how fresh this content is. So that is that. Moving on, and we've been going for about an hour probably, and we're on page 2, I believe. But once we get to these bullet points in here, it gets a lot quicker. So I guess you can look at the time and see that how long it's going to take. But so metadata. So what metadata? It gives context to what your website is. And it's a much higher chance you'll show up as a rich snippet if you have your schema set up correctly. So let me just take this real quick. These are really cool gift boxes, but I have some really good ideas for you below, I think, because it's niche, but it's not niche enough, in my opinion. I've been doing this so long, and marketing and stuff like that for digital marketing. Everything, I think it's like very niche stuff. Like take it to like the next level. So there's something called product schema. So you put the price, the image, the URL, so you can show up and appropriately. And your product schema, you have it, but it has some errors down here. Now, of course, you don't have to put an SKU, so you can ignore some of these, even though I would fill it in. But you're not using the aggregate rating schema, which is like, you know, those stars, like these things. So you want to get that set up. It makes things stick out. I don't know if there's how you would do this on Shopify. Hopefully you don't have to hand code it, because it's real easy with WordPress. And your URL is not configured, which is very strange, because it's right here. So there's some weird. So you just need to go through this and figure out why these errors are occurring. Like description is here, but it's showing up it's broken down here. So you need to figure all this out. Now it's like this, your GIN. I think it's ID of MPN. I have these. There's ways to get around all this. You can just fill in just create a dummy SKU number. And I think for this one, it's MPN equals 0 or something, but I don't remember. Price valid, whatever. You just got to go fix all this stuff. I also would set up like organizational schema. And you can read about that website schema right here. Now your performance is pretty good. There's just not much you can do about it because you're on Shopify. Like, you know, your JavaScript, I'll just show you. So not going to spend too much time. Your website's it loads pretty good, so it's not really much of a problem. But like you can defer some JavaScript, meaning it just loads towards the bottom because it's real slow to load. However, Shopify keeps all of its JavaScript coming from Shopify.com, not from DazzleBasket.com. That's a downside to use. That's why I don't like, well, one of the reasons I don't like Shopify. It's very limiting. So even if you wanted to defer this JavaScript, you can't do it because it's not on your domain. It's not on DazzleBasket.ca. It's on Shopify.com, even though it's serving your website. So it's very, very annoying. So there's a lot of things that are just out of your control. See all this stuff, this JavaScript that could be minified. Well, the ones here can't be minified because they're on Google Tag Manager. But the ones on Shopify should be able to be minified, but they can't because they're coming from some central Shopify library, I'm sure. But overall, it looks pretty good. Looks okay, I should say. But the real test is when you load it, how long does it take? Let's do it. So I'm going to count in my head. 1 Mississippi, 2. So that was 2 seconds. So that's actually, it's really, really good. So actually, now that I see that, I wouldn't be too worried about anything. One thing just to keep in mind is, where is your physical web server located? Like, you're serving people in Canada. So you want to get with your hosting provider and make sure your website, the physical server, like the computer, is in Canada or close to it. You know what I mean? Somewhere up north. You don't want it to be in Florida, because it's going to make your website even slower. Like, I'm in Louisiana. This might appear fast for me. Maybe your website's in New Orleans, where I'm close to. You know what I mean? So is it in, just make sure you know where it's at. So I would call them, and if not, migrate it to a server closer to where you're at. Your favicon is busted. So see, like, this has the yellow, mine has a little brain favicon up here. This has a little black box. Yours is broken right here. And if you look at a waterfall chart on web page test, you can see all your things are loading good. So this is like, you know, these images. It took half a second to load. These little lines are good. These are really good. This initial wait isn't good. This is generally a sign. That's called time to first byte. It's a 2-second delay before doing anything. That's actually kind of strange. But anyway, it loaded overall fairly quickly. Now you can see you have some redirects here. Now these are going to external Google resources, so there's probably nothing you can do about that. But you do have, you can see this is where your favicon is here. Here, and you can see that it's broken. So you have it configured, but it's 404ing, right? So that favicon, the ICO file got deleted, I'm guessing. Now you also have a broken JavaScript link here. So you want to find out why that is, right? But we can't dig into this too much because there's not anything you can really do. So that's that. Look, it's okay. It was actually really quick when I loaded it, but the synthetic tests tend to be ranking it a little lower than it really is. Now, I would not do, for an e-commerce website, any website, I would not even, if you're not, how do I say this? You have to know how people are interacting with your website. You have to know that. So there's a really free, another free, I've spent, you don't know how many hundreds or thousands of hours I've been finding doing this stuff and finding I paid for something later to find out that's a free solution that was, obviously for free. So this little tool called Inspectlet, if you're allowed to on Shopify, you put a little piece of JavaScript on your website, and you get 50 free sessions per day, and you can actually see people use your website. So this person came from Google at this IP address using Chrome and stayed on my page for, oh, look at this. Okay. Let me just do this. Why is it called uncured meat? What is uncured meat? So you can change the playback speed to 2 times, 4 times, 8 times. Anything they click on will be over here, but you can actually see them navigate your site. So this is really good because you can see what people are reading, what are they not reading. But the reason I use it the most, after even establishing my website and knowing I'm cool with the layout and design of it, is sometimes you will see things look broken to people. You'll never know if your website's broken to you if it works on your web browser and operating system combination. This person's using Chrome 83, blah, 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 with this screen resolution. Your website may not work on this very specific combination. If it doesn't, you need to know that, because here's where the problem is. If your website's broken and people are clicking on the back button, that's a signal to Google that your website's not any good. And you're going to start ranking lower because people are clicking on the back button. And it may be just because the image was overlaying the text or something. But you wouldn't have known that unless you would have monitored this stuff. So let's look at this one. So this is Safari. So yeah, this is from some promotion I did on Twitter, I think. Yeah. So why are they called the Cleveland Indians? It's a baseball team. Now I know this ad isn't showing up because sometimes this Inspectlet doesn't show ads properly. So you can actually see him reading through it. Okay, it seems now you can watch it. I usually watch things at 2 times the playback speed. 4 is where it gets too fast, in my opinion. You kind of lose track of what they're doing. So you can see he looked at the menu, then he quit. You can see he clicked on an ad over here, which is good. And he clicked on Pentascope Indian, which is a link I had. So that's really cool. You can see right here. Okay, that's actually interesting. He clicked on this link that I gave him, and then he never came back. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't have that link there if they're going to click and never come back to my website. But it's the kind of stuff you need to be aware of. So I watch about, you get 50 free per day. I watch about 20 per week. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going to watch 50 per day. Nobody has time to watch 50 per day. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call. And so you can see it's just really, really amazing. This stuff used to cost tons of money to do this kind of stuff. You can actually do it free now, which is insane. Now, and not you, but you would be a fool, not you, but I'm saying it's foolish not to use these things. I spend about 20 per week on a Friday, and sometimes I don't even do it. You know what I mean? I would say about 3 out of every 4 weeks I do it, and I watch about 20 or 30, and it takes me about 30 minutes to get through all those. Now, UserBob I would not have a website up unless I 1 second. I would not put a serious website out without using UserBob. So it's the same concept, but what happens is you get actually real people using it, and they talk out loud as they view your site and give you they give their opinion of your website to them, to you. And you can even give them a task to do, like order something or whatever. But it's amazing, and so the reason I like UserBob over some of the others is it's very, very cheap. A lot of times I just want to get first impressions. So you can get 20 videos for $1 each, which is totally cheap. I mean, I used to pay $10 each for these things. Now it's 1 minute. That's real quick, but that's all these are just first impression videos. So the difference is they can navigate your site and you can see if things are broken. But the second thing is they talk out loud. And especially if you have a new website, you've never done this, you have to do this stuff because you have to know what people think of your website, what they like and what they don't like. So this is something that needs to be done. I do these once a month for every website that I work with. And I recommend it to my clients. However, some don't do it, and it's, I only can do so much. Most that do, and it's $20. We're not talking about an outlay of $500 a month here. We're talking about $20. I mean, you could do more, but there's nothing really complex to do on your website. It's not like you have an app. You know what I mean? You just okay, go here, click here, whatever. I would do just do 20 of these with 1 minute each and find out if you find out anything. It's a really, really good resource. And definitely, I can help you with security audits. I can help with a lot of this stuff if you need help with it, by the way. You definitely need, if your website's new, and I think you said it was February that it went up, you definitely need to do a base security audit before going too far. Now, my experience generally is with WordPress, but a lot of the principles apply. I definitely could do that for you. So let me know. Now, Screaming Frog is a site scanner, and everything looks, well, I shouldn't say everything. The site structure looks good. Everything on your website's available within 3 clicks. You can see over here, so that's good. Here's all of your links. Let me move this over. So here's all your links. So you have all these collections and stuff, which just can get kind of confusing. Just from an indexing link representation point of view, and I'll get into that in a little bit, and I don't think there's much you can do about it. Try to move this over. So you have some non-indexable things. So, whoops. So a lot of your collections are non-indexable, and you might want it to be that way. Because if you look at it, this is going to get kind of complex. Let me move this up. So your collections, I can't read that. I'm too old. Diaper Cake Products, Itsy Glitzy Princess, that redirects, it canonicalizes to just the products Itsy Glitzy Princess instead of the collections. Now that's good. That's how you want it to be. But I'm just pointing out that's why that is not indexable. Because you're basically saying this, what canonicalization means is to send people, we're going to get too complicated. It means just to go to this result, just to display this result rather than this one. So that's that. That's to oversimplify that, but it doesn't matter. That's good what you're doing there. So you want to look at what's strange is you do have some collections that are not canonicalized. And I don't understand. It seems like if your collections would be canonicalized to specific pages. Let me go back here again real quick. So this collection canonicalizes to this product, Wine Lovers. So what about this one? So you can see here, this collection is indexable, and it's not canonicalized. So I don't know why that is. It actually is. This is why I don't like canonicals, even though you're supposed to use them. So there's something weird going on here. I don't think it's actually a big deal. It's just inconsistent. So it's just something you might want to look at. I don't think I'd spend too much time on it, but it's just kind of strange. That's where the collection things can get kind of confusing. So you'd have to really, I'm not really a canonical expert. You really have to dig into it. But I think it's okay. It's just kind of strange. Yeah, your URLs. Use no. I don't know what I'm talking. I take so many notes. Sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me do this. So if you ever want to see how Google has your site indexed, all you do is you have your domain. You just go to site:/DA, or your domain. So site:/domain. I think I had something. There's something about consistency. Let me look at page 2. So you can see you only have 3 pages of things being indexed. That's not good. See here? I thought you had more stuff than 3. I thought you had more than 160 pages. Okay, there's maybe not some capitalization issues. I thought there was. Weird. Okay, let me delete that. Yeah, make sure not all of your URLs are content rich. So like Bushel Valentine. What Bushel Valentine what? So it should be Bushel Valentine gift basket. Bushel Valentine Valentino gift basket, whatever it is. Or Bushel Valentine Wine Gourmet gift basket. That should be the URL. So what I would do, like wine, gourmet, blah, blah, blah. I would go change these URLs, but then it's kind of annoying because then you'd have to, you could either redirect these to the new URL with the keywords in it, which I would suggest doing, but it gets to be annoying because you need to make sure if you eventually remove the original links, which you should, any other links you have are going to be broken. So you can just let that happen and allow Google to purge those pages from its index, which if you can afford to do that, I would, because if not, it's just going to be a nightmare to manage all of these updates. Since your website's new, I would, yeah. So yeah, as you can see, that's an issue. We can talk about that later if you'd like. I think it's important to have the keywords in the URL, which sometimes you don't. So it's something that we could discuss if you'd like. I'll leave it at that. Also, Google gives you, I always forget, 60 character, what is it? Yeah, Google gives you 60 characters. In the meta description, it's 155. Yeah. So whenever Google gives you an allocated space to do something, or an allocated number of things, in this case, characters, you want to make sure you're using as many, so you go to page titles. You want to use 55 or 60 characters for all of your page. Don't use less. So these are all good. I mean, as close as you can, 50, 51, 52, 50, 45. But some of these, Wine Lover's Gift Basket, you're only using 39 of possible 55 characters. So you want to put more of your keywords into these titles to get them closer to the 60 character limit, right? You could put your city in here, Calgary, her spa gift. I don't know. You'd have to think about it, but based on the keyword research you do, or just common sense, my brain's kind of melting because I've been talking too long, but you get the idea. Yeah, and the same thing with meta descriptions. Some of your meta descriptions are way too long, but again, they're just truncating, so it's not a bad thing as long as you can understand what the description is in the first 155 characters. But the ones that are under 155, like these, you want to get those increased as close to 155, because Google's giving you an opportunity to help people get to your website or to possibly rank for certain keywords, and you're just not taking advantage of that opportunity. That's what that means. So yeah, with long meta descriptions, went over that. I thought I had something else here did I leave it out? Yeah, I think you have duplicate meta descriptions. Yeah. Okay. Well, these are actually products, collections, products. Okay. So this is the collection product. So you definitely do not want to index. This is where it gets confusing because, okay, let me explain. So this is a perfect combination of, well, no, these are canonicalized. Okay, forget that. So that's why these are duplicated. So that makes sense. So you're always going to have a duplicate meta description for collections. So this is another variation of the URL. This is all strange. So let's look at this one. These are all bushel Valentine, bushel Valentine, bushel. So these all kind of go to the same place. It's very strange. I guess it's in certain categories and whatever. But basically, as long as these go to the same place and the canonicalization is set up properly to where they all eventually go to the same page, that's fine. But if not, that's something you need to figure out. Yeah, it's just a lot to unpack there. It's something I definitely would look into further. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to do look into, I never can spell it, canonicalization, whatever. Yeah, it's going to take a while to dig into all that. Whatever that. And then your images. You want to get your images that, if all possible, under 100K. That's probably possible 50% of the time. If not, you want to get them as small as possible. So I can under 300K, I can generally get about, I would say, 90% of my images. You have some that are just way too big. This is not on your homepage. This is on your entire site. So, for example, on this web page here, Surprise for Mom, you have this image. Okay, first of all, I would, if it's going to be impeached, so let me show you what you're going to, you want to do everything as JPEG if at all possible. Now, if it needs to be in PNG because it's transparent PNG or something like that, you can go to image compressor, and we will go to downloads. And see what it compresses it to. So if it has to stay in PNG, which this image more than likely does not, you can go here and you compress it. Let me get a sip of water while that's happening. And it's 74% reduced. So it's gone from 2.5 meg to 654K. And you can play with the quality slider here, the color slider, and see if you can get even smaller. It looks the same and it's down to 4. Now that's still real big because PNGs are just big files. So what I would do, I would open it in Paint, or this is paint.net, a program I use called paint.net. It's free. It's like a watered down Photoshop. This isn't Paint, this is paint.net. First thing I would do is resize it to the size it's being displayed as, right 1200 by 1200. But if you see here, if you go down to Save As, first of all, the image file names are not SEO friendly. This image file name needs to be the I love you mom gift box, whatever it's called, and you change it here to JPEG, and you could even put your company name at the end of the file name. And you can see here at 100% quality, it's 1 meg. But if you look at the quality here, like pick out something here. Let's look at the detail of this ribbon or this circle thing, whatever it's called, this label. I'm going to go down to 50% quality. Looks the exact same to me. So we went from 1 meg. So we went from 2.5 meg, going from PNG to JPG, we went to 1 meg. Then by changing the quality of it, we went down to 128K. I can generally get like 98% of things down to 50K without losing any quality, without losing much quality at all. 70% of the time I can get things down to 30. I'm sorry, not 50K, 50% quality. 30 there, it still looks pretty good, and it's down to 100K. Sometimes I can get even, that's where it really starts to get grainy. As you can see, as you get lower, it starts to get messed up. And then you just go re-upload the image. That's what you do. So you want to go do that, especially for your images that are over 300K. So it looks like you got about 50. And it's overwhelming. So just think of it as like something you'll do over the next few months. Do like 3 a day, something like that, or whatever you can do, or make a promise to yourself you'll do 10 a week or 20 a week. You don't have WordPress. I was going to say there's tools that can automate this for you, but they're not as effective. It's just better to do them manually one by one. And of course, you want to start with the biggest ones up top. So that's that. I believe that's it for Screaming Frog. So image SEO is very important for something visual like what you're doing. So I typed in back of the dollar bill, and I go to images. Then if I search here, if I click on that, then I go here, my website comes up. So it's probably because what do the symbols on the back of the dollar bill is in the URL. Back of the dollar bill is in the title. It's in the image name. It's in the image alt text, and it's up towards the top, and it's throughout because Google just doesn't take into account file name. It takes into account the words around the image as well, right? So you need to make sure. Somebody's going to search for like Valentine's Day gift box. You want to show up in these Google. First of all, the shopping from Google Merchant Center. You want to show up in these images here. So if somebody sees your gift box, you go, oh, that looks cool. Like if that's you, boom, go to your website, boom. Now, I think I have one more mention here. I also, with 100% certainty, all of your images should have your website name on them, either watermarked or like a little mention down here. And these are really horrible images for these people selling this stuff because their website is nowhere to be found. Why that's important is, see, they have it here. It's still a horrible image because you can't even read it. Wish I could find one that was done properly. This is pretty alarming that none of these appear to be done properly. Because let's say, okay, so let's just say I do this. Let's say I like this. I'm like, oh, this is a really cool product. And I email this to somebody or I share this image on social media. Like, let's say I like this gift box. And that looks, so I share this on social media, hashtag Valentine's Day or something like that. Anybody that gets it is just going to go, okay, that's a picture. But if they want to buy it, where do they go? So you either need to watermark it or make sure your company name is mentioned, your domain is somewhere on this image. This is very troubling that now I'm just curious. None of these pictures have the company name of the people selling their products. That's really, really bad. So hopefully you understand that. So you need to change the image name, the alt tag, and also put your domain in the actual image itself. Because people do share these kind of things. So social media, where's your social media links? Now, a big thing for you would be, let me make this red. This is really important for you. Social media, this is what people who are social media marketers use the social media calendar. You need to create products around as many. Now, it doesn't always make sense. You're not going to have a National Bird Day gift basket. I get that. But you can mold your content around these things. And can you have gift baskets for Cheese Lovers Day? A Cheese Lovers Day gift basket would be awesome. A National Pie Day gift basket. People search on this stuff. Cheese Lover. And so what happens is when it's Cheese Lovers Day, you would go here in this trending hashtag because it will be trending. You go here and I like to do it I don't like to do it from a company account. I just kind of like to seem like a random person, but that's up to you. If you do it from your company account, it's brand exposure. I'd say, just found this awesome Cheese Lover gift basket, whatever, blah, 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 then link to your product. What other things I would do I would find the top posts that have a lot of comments. So for example, let's see if I can find one that makes sense right now. Die Heart. You go to trending. So you want to pay attention. It's very important to pay attention to trending hashtags and see if any of the content you have meets any of these trending hashtags. I don't know what any of this stuff means. Okay, always have something political. So racist in chief. So just imagine this with your product. So I'll have a really good article doesn't get into politics. Just says impeached. Can a president that has been impeached run for office again? So I would take advantage of this trending hashtag. Where did it go? Well, what happened? Let me go to, I don't know where it was. So you go to explore, then you go to trending, and there's a racist in chief, and I hate getting political. Oh, it was Trump virus is what it was. Or I don't know what the heck it was. So you just go here. Couldn't he just kind of play stupid, you know what I mean? Couldn't he just run again if he were impeached? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Delete that, and we're going to go back, and we're going to do that. Trump virus, you get the idea. Boom. And what you kind of get some Twitter. Where's these little down arrow pointy arrows tend to increase conversions, which is kind of funny. So you put that, and then you copy it. Okay, so let's just do that. So you tweet it, boom. Now, also what I do, you want to do that 2 or 3 times throughout the day. You don't want to do too much because you don't want Twitter to think you're spamming. And again, you could do this for multiple accounts. I also like to go to the trending hashtag and find the ones that have the most comments. So there's always comments under Trump's. And kind of do something similar. Whoops. What the heck? Get rid of that. Discard. So you word it a little differently. And But I think he could run again if he got impeached. No. And then post a link, right? So you're basically tweeting. This is kind of just go where they are. You need to go where your people that are interested in your content are. I would do it there. I would usually do it for 3 or 4. And I just change the wording up a little bit. I do it there, I do it there, and I would do it there. And then I would leave it alone. And then go tweet other stuff so it doesn't look like I'm just spamming. I would just go to other things and, let's say tenure, whatever this is, and just go and retweet this. So if anybody looks at my timeline, they won't think that I'm just spamming or just like tweet like, it's a weird day today, right? So it doesn't look like you're a bot, doesn't look like you're an algorithm, right? So that's kind of how I do it. So all these holidays, and you should have, let's see, National Complement Opposite Day, Chinese New Year, anything related to, do you have like Chinese gift baskets? And that's something I thought of that I was going to mention later. Just go through all these and like any content you have related to around this something, around any of this, like Pizza Day. So do you have like an Italian gift? You got to think like that. Anything indirectly related to these. It doesn't have to be like linked to your products. It can be linking to your content, right? If you have a content on like anything about pizza or something, I don't know how that would relate to your business, but you understand, like Valentine's Day. These are the things you got to keep an eye on. And I go here I shouldn't say it. I try to go here every day and just make sure I know what's going on. But like one of the first things I check when I wake up in the morning and during the day is I go to Explore and I want to see if there's anything trending related to stuff I have content about. I call this my lay and wait strategy, right? Because it's very hard to effectively market online just by pushing things out because nobody's looking at it. If you can get your message in front of eyeballs that people are actively interested in, that's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. Not just going here and going, check out our gift baskets, hashtag fun or whatever, you know what I mean? It's got to be like, take advantage of what's trending. That's where you're going to do the most damage at. Same thing on all the other social media outlets. So that's that. Images, we went over this watermark, like Pinterest. This would be perfect for Pinterest, this kind of stuff you had. Imgur, kind of. I mean, that's more of just like sharing funny stuff. You'd have to make it a little less obvious that you're trying to sell your things. But Instagram and Pinterest would be really good. Yeah, and most studies do show a correlation between SERP rankings and social media presence. So when you're doing social media stuff from your official company account, you want it to be 80% content, memes, however you pronounce it, blah, blah, blah. And only 20% should be promotion. If it's all promotion, all sales, all the time, people are going to tune you out. So you want to use the shop buttons on like Instagram and Pinterest. So you just don't want to post an image of your product, which is good. That's still good. That has your URL on your product image, using proper keywords, using relevant hashtags. What's happening here? Oh, this happens sometimes. Let me pause it while it unfreezes. Okay, something happened there. I think hopefully we're recording. Let me try this. Let me do it this way. My laptop totally hung up. Let me try it this way. So what you want to do is you want to have these like shop buttons. Boom, boom, boom. So this is all, again, this is like, okay, these are cool tips, but how does this improve me in the search rankings? If you have all these clicks coming in from all these social media channels and people are looking and buying your products, you got to think Google understands when somebody clicks add to cart. If you have Google Analytics set up, it just makes sense. So this is the kind of stuff, right? So this is the kind, you don't want to just post it to Instagram, Pinterest, which I think would be really big for you. You want to make sure you post it properly so people can actually shop for your products. Add these social share buttons to your product pages. So that's that. Went over Facebook groups. TikTok's becoming really big. Something to keep an eye on. Yeah, what I showed you earlier, I call that my lay and wait strategy. We'll go days for any of the websites that I work with, where I don't do any promotion on social media. But then like a guy I'm working with, one I used to work with, he sold like armor, like Viking armor. Anytime Game of Thrones was on, we would do this kind of stuff on Twitter, even though they weren't Vikings, and that he would get a lot of clicks from that kind of stuff. in the Game of Thrones trending hashtag. And just make sure you respond to things on social media. You have to be active as well. You can also do things like the popular Saturday morning hashtag, Thursday thoughts. You can just read through those here. Okay, let me get a sip of water, one sec. Okay, so another free service you want to sign up for is like Uptime Robot or Uptrends or something like that. So what these are services that'll just check your website every, I think it's 5 minutes, and just make sure your website's up. If it's down, you'll get an alert. Now, why this is important? If your website's down and you don't know about it at 3 a.m, Google's going to know about it because somebody from Chrome is trying to access your site, or possibly if you have Google Analytics set up, but I'm not sure how all that works. If they do and they click and your website doesn't load, or they're clicking the back button, that's a signal to Google that your website's not any good or it's not reliable, and that ruins the user experience, and that's what it's all about. Google's going to start ranking you lower, and it would be unfortunate if you started ranking lower and you don't know why. I've had at least a few clients that they were ranking lower. We did some investigation and we found out that their website was going down in the middle of the night for, multiple minutes at a time, multiple times. And we fixed that. And within 3 or 4 months, things kind of corrected themselves. So you need to make sure that's not happening. Ahrefs is a really good tool. I guess we're not going to go into too much detail about it here, but you could actually, tell you what, let me do this. Let me just do it real quick. So I'm going on for quite a long time. Let me pause it while I log in. Okay, so you can look at, your website's domain's pretty new, so there's not much there. For example, one of your competitors, Bumblebee Baskets, they have 200 backlinks. So what you do, I like this, the best thing I do from one of the most important thing in Ahrefs is looking at your competitors' backlinks, web links coming into their website. You want to see where all these are coming from. So Blog Party, some of these are spammy that I looked at, like this. So Owler, some kind of company profile thing. So you want to, what you're finding out is if your competitor's here, you want to be here. Like this is spam here, so that you want to ignore that. Russian, so anything Russian's likely blog. So look, Kodo Canada, Easter Brunch, blah, blah, blah. What is that? So this is a website you could get on. Like this is a Canada website. So you could reach out to this person and, present your content, present your products. You can even offer these people, hey, would you be willing to do a review on us? They've shown a willingness to. We'd be happy to give you a free basket to review. This would be a really good backlinking opportunity. But you wouldn't have known that unless you could see the backlinks of your competitors. So what is this? Toroy Media. So this is something else. Okay, well, this is you could reach out to them and say, hey, you could explain when you're reaching out to these people, let me step back. Just be honest with these people. People like me get emails all the time. Oh, you're the best. We love your work, blah, blah, blah. You can tell when people are being disingenuous. You could just say, hey, I've been reading through your site. I'd have to see what this article is about. But any of these, just reach out. Don't be just ridiculous. Just be honest. Say, hey, I was reading through it. I have a new business and we're looking to get some, we're looking to we think we sell some really cool products and we're looking to get our name out there. Would you be willing to do a review on a product we sent you? Something like that, right? So you just need to come through here. See, this is all nonsensical spam, which is horrible. Like Be Local or Calgary Business CA. Look, boom. What is this? Can you get in here? So it looks like the same type of thing. So now after seeing this, so this is Gail Anderson, Jade Anderson. I would then search for her and see where you can come up with her. So Jane Anderson, Bumblebee, and find out everywhere she's mentioned. That's another way to find out where your competitors are, right? You just got to go to your competitor's website and see what you like. What do you like about their websites? The one thing I liked is this Build a Basket. But what works for these people? Now you can also go in here and you can go to their top pages. Let me zoom back out. Any broken links they have coming into your website, if you can provide, that's all nonsense. If you have the content of what's broken, you can reach out to them and say, hey, we have the content, you want to link to us instead. You can look at your competitors' top pages. right? That's really cool. Baby gifts is really important. Okay, do you have a baby gift section? You can snipe some of that traffic off. So of course not baby, you don't do baby gifts, but you get the idea. Then you can look at their actual advertisements they're running, which they're not doing any of. You can do this is like a paid keyword tool. Gift bags. Let's do this real quick. So again, Ahrefs is a really in-depth tool. There's no way I could go over it like in 5 minutes, but it'll just give you an idea. How to make gift bag from wrapping paper. That's a really good content piece. How to make gift bags. Where to buy gift bags. Also rank for gift bag, small gift bags. All kinds of good stuff, right? And you can click here and just go through them again. So this is this like Uber suggests, but it's not limited because this is a paid product. But it's really expensive. So, I mean, I do a group buy, so it's cheaper, and I can help you with that if you want. But what you could do is just use the free trial and just, a lot of people do that. They just go and export all this stuff to spreadsheets. Because this stuff's going to stay the same. I mean, it's pretty set in stone what people are searching for. Like Minion gift bag, that's awesome. Based on the movie Minion, I guess. So here's some information on the kind of stuff I talk about. Then backlinks are still really important. These are the techniques I use to get backlinks. Now, the best way you can get a backlink is to write a piece of content that people actually want to share, rather than going out and reaching out and spend. The number of backlinks you get for actually doing outreach is ridiculously low. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 a month. So the best thing you can do is to write content that people want to share, and they share it for you, rather than you going and trying to force your links onto other people. Here's a couple. I would read through these. Here's a couple ideas. If you find any local niche blogs, like especially local to you in Canada, you can reach out to them. And these people are looking for their websites to be legitimized. So, say, hey, we're new in town. Found your site interesting. Would you be interested in running an advertisement for a bit? And just give like $50 a year, or $30 a year. It's not a lot, but they don't know how to code it to where they're going to do like a rel, no follow, whatever it is. They're likely going to just do it, and that'll be a good backlinking opportunity. So if anything, it's exposure and you get a backlink, right? Anytime your company name is mentioned on the web and there's no link back to your website, you want to go and reach out to that webmaster and ask them to link to your website. I would set up a Google alert right now for your company name. So anytime it's mentioned on the web and Google can detect it, you're going to find out about it. And it's really good if somebody's like talking nonsense about your company as well. So here's a bunch of like terms you can put into Google. You can read more about it here. Like you could do Canada Business Directory. So these are all directories you want to be in. You're probably not going to get a lot of traffic from these websites, but you can imagine this is increasing your web footprint. If somebody searches for your company name and the only place they see it is your website, maybe your Facebook page, it's not as reassuring because, okay, who are these people? Are they even real? Also, it's a signal to Google. If your website's mentioned all over the web, it would make sense that Google is going to go, okay, they're on Yelp, they're on Google My Business, they're mentioned on this blog, they're mentioned on Facebook, they're mentioned on Twitter. They must be a pretty legitimate company. It would make sense that the Google would rank you higher for that. So it increases your web footprint, which is really important if you get in these directories. Not necessarily because people are going to find you in these directories. You could also do like Montreal, or I think you said you're in Calgary, I believe it is, and any of those other surrounding cities, right? So these are just different ways to get good backlinking opportunities, and this specifically to increase your web footprint. Now, Google My Business is probably the highest ranking local SEO factor, along with reviews. But you want to make sure you're also on the other ones, Yelp, Yahoo Local, Bing Places. Don't forget about those. And you have to respond to all reviews. Oh, 1 second, hold on. Okay, your Google My Business, you have a big problem that from the research you have, this is what I'm going to get to. There was a big purge in 2020 of fake or of invalid Google My Business profiles. And yours looks to be invalid because the address you're giving is your home. Now, that's against guidelines, it's against policy. Now, you can have it point to, your home. However, your home has to have a store sign in front of it. It could just be something as little as a yard sign. So that's something you want to do. If you're not going to do that, then what you need to do is come here. I wouldn't risk it because thousands and thousands of people got their Google My Business profile purged. So what I'm saying is I would not keep it at my home address unless I have a sign out front. If you can't do that, you can just change it to just city and state, city and province, I should say, in Canada is I think how they refer to it. I also if you search for you have that primary category, I would also do. Well, no, I wouldn't. You're not a gift shop. No, you're right. Just keep it as that one. Let me. You're right. I was going to say add a secondary gift shop, but that's not good. You want to, let me do this. Your short name, you want to add it here. I don't even know what it's used for, to be perfectly honest with you, but it goes back to whatever Google gives you, you want to put the stuff in. Here, you want are your hours correct? Now, whatever all this stuff is, the phone number, the hours, the address, it needs to be 100% consistent across all of these citations. Yahoo, Local, whatever it's called, Bing Places, all Yelp, all these places. All this needs, your hours need to be consistent, your address needs to be consistent, your company name needs to be 100%. It can't be Dazzle Basket, then Dazzle Basket LLC, then Dazzle Basket Ontario. It has to be the exact same because that can confuse Google, as ridiculous as it seems. Your phone number needs to be the exact same. Like you don't want it to be a mobile phone here, then another phone number, another one. It just confuses Google. This one, I would get rid of that slash there. Nope, I just did it for you. Hopefully that's okay. Okay. Now you don't have any of your products listed here. You want that to show up in the Google search results on the right by your company pane. Everything under, so these are my notes. Everything under highlights here. There's all kinds of stuff you're not putting here, like especially your payments. You're definitely taking these credit cards, so I'd put that there. So you need to look through all this stuff. But that's the one that really stuck out is the payment. Your business description. This is really key. Google gives you 750 characters. Again, this goes back to use everything Google gives you. You need to create a business description that's 750 characters or close to it, 742, 737, whatever, and use all the keywords possible because this is the main thing I would think that Google looks at when it's trying to determine what you are, other than the categories. So add your opening date, and you need to add photos. Now you do have photos, but I would continually add more. I would not do them all in one day. I would, just so you can constantly have new things coming in. But I definitely need, look at these views you're getting. 1.5 thousand views, 700. So you're getting some good views on these. This is all really good. And it looked like you're still doing it 6 days. So here this is 6 days, 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 6 days ago, 18 week ago. So it looks like you do them in spurts. Like if I would schedule this stuff out. Definitely. Okay, products, where are we at? That's that. Routinely add photos, your posts. I would definitely set up messaging. It's real easy to do. You do here. And what happens is over here, if somebody's on their mobile phone and they search you and they get your company panel, I can't remember what it's called, it's gonna have a message me button right here. And that'll just go to your cell phone. It's really easy. It's really easy to set up. Take advantage of everything Google gives you an opportunity to take advantage of. Because it makes sense to me. If you're using that, Google wants to showcase people who are using its products. So it's possible, I can't say with any certainty, that you would rank on that one ranking factor, you would rank higher than another website because you're using that Google feature and Google wants to showcase its features. And then respond to all reviews. What you are doing, except one, which you just got yesterday, because I got an alert for it, so I know it's not true. So I know that's why. Now, what I like to do when I'm responding to reviews, for example, that's the best when ordering online my mother's birthday. They do not recommend request delivery date, mother's blah 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 blah. Instead of just saying thanks a lot, Stephen, I would say thanks a lot, Stephen. By the way, comment if your mother is. Let's say you had Star Wars gift baskets. If you or your mother are Star Wars fans, we also have Star Wars gift baskets for you, then smiley face, smiley face. Now, why you do that is let's say somebody's reading your reviews and they're a Star Wars fan and they go here and they weren't even thinking about a Star Wars gift basket. Like they were just thinking of like for a Mother's Day, but they had like a friend that's a Star Wars fan. They think, Star Wars gift basket. That's gonna, let me go look at their website. So I like to stealth advertise in these reviews. Like, okay, you know, for like dentist, okay, thanks. If you ever need us, we have emergency service. You know what I mean? Don't forget, if you have anybody that needs help with an attorney, we have, you know, free consultation or whatever. So this is the kind of stuff I do. Instead of just doing these, it's really good you're responding to them, but I like stealth advertising my stuff in these reviews. It's really, really effective. It's really kind of a tricky way to do free advertise for free because everybody reads. I think it's like 80% of people read reviews. I don't know what's wrong with the other 20%. So here's a good overview from one of the guy that I do work with at times. You can go watch that, how to configure it properly. Oh, yeah, so you have, good, I'm glad I didn't skip over this. Your delivery here mentions all of these places. Airdrie, what is it? You're probably laughing because you hear this word every day. The city of Airdrie. Wait, Airdrie? Airdrie. Okay, let me see something right here. I don't think, well, I know you want to put all of these, okay, that one's there, but there's a lot of them here that are not there. Now, they might be subdivision. I looked at Bragg Creek. I think that's because that's a subdivision or like, you know, like a, not really a city name, but you want to make sure all of these places you're serving are in that service areas up there. Because that means it's, if they're in one of these areas and they're searching for gift basket, your company may not appear if it's not in the list. So I just make sure you go add all of those there. Now you don't want to do, you just want to do ones that are real. You don't want to do like, you know, something in Toronto if you don't serve Toronto, which I don't think you do. That's probably a long way away. So I know Toronto is like near New York, but I have no idea where Calgary is. Let me just check something real quick. Calgary. Guess I should know where Calgary is, shouldn't I? It's a pretty big city. I wonder if you know where Baton Rouge is, where I live. You see, okay, yeah, you're more in the west. So I know Toronto's way over here. Okay, so what I'm saying is accurate. Now, reviews are really, really important. Everybody should get a physical card that says, you know, leave us a review, you give you a 20% discount or whatever, and a follow-up email. If you speak with somebody personally and you know what this is about, then you want to make sure the email is personable. Just 2 or 3 sentences. Hey Bob, thank you for your business. I hope your wife enjoyed the basket and the cruise, something that y'all talked about. Now what you want to do is you don't want to just say leave a review. You want to give them links directly to, like, for example, Google. You want it to go directly to here. So you create a custom link that goes directly to your Google profile. Instead of saying leave us a review on Google, you want it to go directly here. So what you would do, you can create a custom link, but that's kind of hard to fit on a business card. So you are the Dazzle Basket CA. So I would get the URL or the domain dazzlebasket.to or whatever's available. It could be whatever, and then have one called Google, then one called Yelp or whatever, and put these on business cards. And then when somebody clicks on it, redirects to that. Right? And you also want to do follow-up emails for this kind of stuff because reviews are really, really, really important. The more personalized they are, like if you know who these people are, the much higher chance they're going to leave a review. But if you don't know them, you don't know them. But you definitely want to make your review, especially, I mean, if it's an email, it doesn't really matter. But I would always put in like business cards in the packages with like, I always do Google reviews. Then I go between like, you have that, and you have the Better Business Bureau, you have a bunch of other ones. Wherever I need reviews, I always do Google, but then wherever I need the other one is the second one I'll put on there. You only want to do 2. And always put Google first, that's the most important one. But let's say you get a 1-star at Yelp, and that brings your rating down to 3. You want to make sure you get a lot of reviews there immediately to balance that out. So, and that's all explained in these 2 articles here. And there's all kinds of places, all kinds of citation sources your company should be in. Actually, this is USA. I forgot you're Canada. So SEO Canada citation sources. So you can see, you can Google this and get this as well. Let's do this. Let's see what, let me briefly look over it real quick. Yeah, okay, yeah, Better Business Bureau. I guess y'all have Better Business Bureau in Canada. I didn't know that. Wait, is this Canada? Yeah. So these are all the directories you could get your company name, right? Increases the web footprint, easy backlinking opportunities. I'm going to make sure everything is 100% consistent. I covered that already. I noticed you have good product photos. If you do need a graphics guy, and I'm not like, I have no money to make by if you use this guy or not. I have a guy in Pakistan that I've been working with because I sell some things online too, some products. He's awesome. He can do things at really good rate. So if you need people, graphics people in America are pretty expensive. Let's be honest. So if you need somebody that's cheap and good and reliable, let me know. I can send you his contact information. So this is, I think this is like thing I think is the coolest stuff would be if you had like even more. You have the typical Valentine's Day, Christmas, Father's Day, and that's all totally cool, and your baskets look good. But why not like have Cajun gift baskets? Like I live in Louisiana, like West Coast gift, British, Chinese, college student. Like the college student would be like Frito-Lays and like candy and like notepads or whatever. For like Cajun stuff, I thought would be really cool. And I've actually sold a couple, not gift baskets, but these on eBay. Got a bunch of like local Cajun foods, put them in like a box and said like Cajun food box or whatever. Cajun food. So you can just go to Amazon and get a box of jambalaya. You may not even know what this stuff is, but it's stuff we eat here down south. And I could recommend you this. Everybody has this seasoning in Louisiana, the Tony Chachere's. This original one over here. Beignet mix. This is like, they're like donuts, or whatever. I mean, you'd have to find out what, and you can make like a Cajun box. Like, why not a Chinese box? Like a back to school or college box would be like chips, candy, Coke, power drink, or what they call, not power drinks, energy drinks. I think that would be really interesting. I also think, ignore that. Yeah, I was thinking like, I searched for Star Wars gift basket, and people are searching for this stuff. And this would totally increase the type of things you could tweet about and your content ideas. Look at these things sell. If not, all these people wouldn't be selling Star Wars gift baskets. So what about like Harry Potter? What about like, anything, Batman, any new, especially the best kind of content is anything related to new stuff. Like if a new Star Wars was coming out, God forbid, you could jackpot off this stuff. Especially if a new movie's coming out and you could put together something before anybody else, that would be really cool. Now I also I sell movie replica products from like very niche movies like Willy Wonka and like I can't even think right now. Like, The Shining, like a bunch of like that are popular but not totally popular. There's tons. I can't even think right now. And so that's another way, is if you sell products for like more of like that movies that have like more cult followings. So the Batman stuff's good, but it's a high competition. If you do stuff like, I can't even think. Yeah, wow. My brain is totally, let me just look real quick. Oh, Midsommar. I'm selling a lot of the movie called Midsommar. It has this mural in it. Now, it's a popular movie, but it's not that popular. But what it is people that like the movie really, really like it. So that's the kind of stuff you could focus on, right? So that niche stuff that there's probably nobody else in the world has drawn this. I have. So I sell this stuff a lot, right? That's the thought behind that. So I think if you really focused on really interesting niches, I think you can make a ton of money. Instead of just the typical, not typical, but the standard Father's Day, even though you have some cool Father's Day type stuff, right? But like even something that is more unique, like, and this is the kind of stuff that the keyword unique would be good, because that's what people are searching on. Yeah, went over that for sure. Almost getting down, three more pages. See, these go a lot quicker. And then make sure you use the appropriate keywords for all your products. You just need to go through them one by one and think about what keywords people would use to get to your product. So let's just choose one of them. I'm not even going to plan this out. Let's go to Dazzle Basket and let's go to birthday gift basket girl. You wish you were the world. This wonderful birthday basket with like colors happening this day of your little princess. So where does it say daughter anywhere in here? It doesn't. So that's the kind of stuff. And I would link out to these for my reviews. Well, obviously, happy birthday candles, not much you can do there. So you just need to think, happy birthday gift girl, wish you the world. So you just need to brainstorm. So this, I would search birthday gift basket, girl, and I would start using those keyword tools and find out other keywords that pop up, right? And I'm going to show you another way to get keywords here in a second, but you have to put these keywords in these descriptions. You have to keep in mind what people are searching on. Now, what I do, if you have like you and a partner, perhaps, maybe you and two partners, just take one of these and for like a day, for 24 hours, write down any keywords that come to mind for this one. And then go, you don't want to just say, think of keywords and you have 1,000 different products that nobody thinks of anything. One day at a time, go through this one and just think of keywords. And tomorrow, go do another one. You don't want to say, just think of keywords for all of our products because you'll never think of anything. It needs to be very specific. Okay, moving along. Oh, I may actually put it, see, I forget because I do so much. I really do spend a lot of time on these. So like this one. This is very Valentine's-y, but it doesn't say Valentine's Day anywhere in here at all, right? So it could be, even if you don't want to put custom gift basket hugs and kisses, you could say like perfect Valentine's Day gift, something like that. So it's in here somewhere. And the same thing for this one, Father's Day, right? This is coffee lover. This is perfect for your man. Could be for Father's Day, or for his birthday, for graduation, all this kind of stuff. You'd have to go research, but definitely Father's Day or husband. Is husband in here? Because people search for gift, basket, husband, right? People are searching on it. Husband gift basket, boom, see? These are the keywords you have to keep in mind. Moving along. Oh, could you do I thought a button for custom requests would be cool. That would, see, what you got to think about is what can you do that your competition doesn't do? Like all your websites are all good and they're not, I couldn't, this one looks different because it's bumblebees and I'm like, okay, bumblebees. But if I came here and there was like a Star Wars basket sticking out and a custom request button, I might be, these people are kind of onto something. Whereas this and this, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, show dad you care. Oh, okay, here's some cologne. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's cool. It's like very cool and like good looking, but I want something that's going to stick out, like made to stick. If you've read the marketing book Made to Stick from 20 years ago, it kind of went into a lot of this stuff. You can't just be another gift basket company. You have to do something different if you really want to succeed. I would also, even though you do you mentioned same day delivery here, but you have to dig in to find it. If I saw your website, I would look at it and go, okay, good, gift basket. I would think in my mind, I can order it and probably have it here in 3 to 4 days. But let's say I'm looking at it. I may not even be wanting same-day delivery, but if I see same-day delivery here, 1, I might decide I need same-day delivery. 2, I think it's cool that you do offer same-day delivery. 3, if I need one in the future last minute, I'll remember to go to your website. So I don't want to, I thought when I look into your website, I was like, okay, these are just things that I can order and have delivered to me in Louisiana. You have to dig in to find out what really happens. So that's something I definitely would advertise. And then maybe free delivery over X amount of dollars, $200 or something, I don't know. I don't like this, and it looks really not good on mobile, this currency thing up here. This takes up 5% of the screen. See this up here? And if you go to mobile, this is the way how you can emulate a mobile view by just going to right-click Inspect in Chrome, by the way, and you can change it to iPhone or whatever. You can see how much screen real estate this takes up on mobile. See how bad that looks? And Google looks for this kind of stuff. It's taking up about what, 40% of the screen? Now I know you can close it, but that's still very annoying. I would not have that. Especially Google is going to for mobile, that's going to, it ruins the user experience, so that's not good. I would just have it like a little selector over here somewhere on the right. I wouldn't have it take up that screen real estate. Screen real estate is very, very valuable. Moving along. Yeah, there's holes on mobile, so let me show you. You go to inspect. You scroll down. Oh, this one doesn't look good at all. Let me see that you have this white space here. So there's 1, 2, 3 white space. 1, 2, 3 white space. 1, 2, 3 white space. So you have to figure out a way, and I get it, because you don't want to have, could you make these smaller so you could fit 4 in a row? And if not, you just have the white space. It's not a huge deal, but to me, it's just a professionalism looking thing. It just kind of looks tacky. So I don't know, you'd have to figure that out, because obviously if you do 4 here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 below it. So it's going to look really bad. Perhaps you could do 2 and 2, like collections 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Or just 2. So that's something you got to think about. I would change the color of the live chat button. You don't even see it stick out. So like one of my websites, and it's slow right now, so ignore that. See, it's green, it's tacky. This is just very plain. It's been under construction for like 2 years. See how it's blue? I would make the colors, I want it to stick out. I want people to see the live chat there. I would definitely change it to like blue or something different. I would like to see more product photos. Maybe even, because I like that. These are really cool looking. These are really, really cool. But I want to see, so let's say the wine and cheese, which sounds actually delicious. I want to see a picture of each one of these products here. Because like, what is this box back here? You know what I mean? Or maybe even if I don't see, you don't have to one picture with everyone by their own, but if you could like do 2 at a time or something, I want to see what all this stuff is. Because I mean, it might be I would buy it if I saw this and this was like, like a fudge brownie. It's like, oh, I gotta have that fudge brownie, but because I can't see it, I don't know what it is. Now I know there's a list over here, but visual marketing is very, very important. So you can do that. Now again, I could put you in connection with my guy. If you wanted to take product photos, he could clean them all up. You can just take a picture of them on your carpet and he can do the white background. I mean, it already looks like you have a light box here, so you know what you're doing. But I have a light box, but it's just more annoying than anything else to get everything out and light everything properly and then mod it, blah, blah, blah. So he does all that for me. So if you're interested in that, let me know. He could just take these product photos off of Amazon or whatever and do it that way. So let me know. But yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, anytime you search for like gift list, why not reach out to these people? Gift list 2020. Why not reach out to maybe Good Housekeeping would probably be a little bit big. I mean, it's a huge company. Find them with some like lower domain authority, like L's still big. Harper's is still big. Marie Claire is still big. Let's do Christmas gifts 2019 for her. Prezi box, whatever that is. So you could reach out to this person. Hey, I'll do the same thing. Just be honest. Like, I enjoyed your website. I saw you have this Christmas gift list. We're new. We're just trying to build up. Is there any way you could, if I gave you a free basket or something, or like whatever, would you be willing to include us on your list? Now, it probably looks like there's some kind of affiliate stuff going on, so you might have to set up an affiliate program, and that's not hard to do. Because I bet that goes to an affiliate link. Maybe not. Oh, that's their product. Okay, but you just need to find web pages of people that have master lists of like gift ideas or whatever, and then reach out to them. So hopefully you get the idea. Now slowly get some reviews. You need to have the review system on your website. And when I say slowly, if you're going to do it for your own products, which it's probably not the most honest thing to do. I can live with myself by saying I will do 1 review if my product has no ratings, just to give it 1 5-star review, so it shows up in Google with the 5 stars. After that, I'm not going to touch it. But if you do that, just make sure you do it using like a VPN or Tor and just do it slowly. You don't want to do 50 reviews in one day because Google's going to come and say, wow, look, there's 50 new products that have reviews. They've gone from 0 to 50 in one day. What's going on here? You know what I mean? So it's something you'd want to do slow. I do like your competitor that has Build a Basket. I think that's awesome. Now I know this is probably really complex, but this is a really good, this makes them different than the competitors. So it's really cool if you could do that. Then you can add you can add 5 products to it or something. So this is all a lot more. I mean, we're getting into some more complex stuff, but this is all really, really cool. But I think if you have that custom request, that would be really, really cool. Yeah, just search for Gift Basket on YouTube. There's all kinds of stuff out there, especially people that are talking about, well, let me just show you. I forgot actually what all I saw. I would just do gift. So there's one of 2 ways you could do this. Well, there's multiple things you could do. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to tell you until I see the results, is what I'm trying to say. Gift basket. 8 creative and elevated gift basket ideas. So you could reach out to 121,000 views. Hey, would you be willing to review our gift basket if we gave you one? Boom. Whoever this Gabriel Iglesias must have wrote a song called Gift Basket. I don't think he's a comedian, so I would just search not Gabriel Iglesias. Look, you could do videos on how to pack a gift basket. This would be really good content. 230,000 reviews. You could do video reviews of all, this is a no-brainer actually, video reviews of all of your gift baskets and put them on here. Link back to that's wonderful brand exposure using all the appropriate keywords. See, this is a horrible way. This is a horrible title. Putting these hashtags in the title here. But hopefully you get the idea. You make your own videos and also reach out to people who are that you can benefit from if they mention your product. Yeah, video reviews. Oh, that's actually what I just said. Yeah, add these to your, and make sure when you do video reviews of your products, add them to your video. Videos sell a ton more than just images. I want to see like images, like it doesn't even have to be professional. Just with your iPhone, you can do it. And kind of what I do is like, what I tell people is you want to turn your weaknesses into strengths, right? If you have a weakness that your video reviews aren't professional because you don't have a professional quality phone, then take it, make it seem kind of cheap, like with you going, oh, this, kind of be dumb. Make it don't try to act professional, like have it looking at the video, then pointing back at your face, you know what I mean? To make it look like it's more casual. So whatever your weakness is, just turn it into a strength, right? Now these title modifiers are really important. You just want to look through. They're like 2020 best top. Specifically, the one I use the most is 2020, or the date, the year. Ad books, ads, we went over that. They're really, really powerful. And just make sure when somebody likes your advertisement, after you've boosted your post, and you can do advertisement for like $5 a day just to test something out. Just make sure you've targeted the correct people that have interests and that are in the correct demographic. But after they have liked your boosted post, make sure you invite them back to your page. Most people don't do that because when somebody likes your post, they're liking your post, but not your page. Make sure you invite them back to your page. And then Google Ads is very powerful. Just make sure you have somebody that knows what they're doing, that knows about bid adjustments, that knows about geographical targeting, that knows about negative keywords, that kind of stuff. Because you're going to waste a lot of money if you get somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Now, car magnets really work. Customer surveys are one of the more powerful things. I ask 3 questions when I do them. What do we do good? What do we do bad? Now, see, my brain is so dead. Rating, what do we do? What is it? What do we do good? What do we do good? What do we do bad? And if we could change one thing, what would it be? You don't need long customer surveys. Oh, and okay, rating, like 1 to 5, whatever. That's it. Now, Google Merchant Center, we're not going to get into it, but you want to make sure that you're in the shopping tab here. Get your, you see what I'm saying, in shopping here. Whoops. All right, let me just slow down. Go to gift basket. You want your results to appear in shopping here. Also, like Etsy would be perfect for what you're selling. Are you on eBay and you're on Amazon? Now these things can get really hard to manage. I mean, you would make a lot of money in these channels, right? Now with eBay, it's really cool because eBay, I mean, it's a jackpot. It's amazing that they allow you to do this. Let me show you. So if you go to eBay and you search for gift basket, what's cool about eBay is you can actually, and it's amazing, and nobody knows about this. Well, not nobody, most people don't. You can go to sold items, and you can actually see what's selling and how much it's sold for. So, I mean, you can really, look at this. So this is what you want to do. You want to go, this sold. Well, first of all, you want to see what's selling, so you don't make sure you're not overpriced. This is like the perfect, like, college kids gift basket, right? So this is sold on July 5th. So this is yesterday. I think Etsy would be better for gift baskets, right? Obviously. So this is a gift basket, okay. Right? Now also what you want to do, not the ones that sold, you want to do gift basket, the ones that come up on the top, let me get rid of sold. You want to go look at the keywords that are being used to find out why they're ranking high. Right? Now, what was I getting at? Let me, not that. I got so many windows. So it gets really hard to manage all selling this stuff across channels. There's all kinds of cool software you can use as long as you can justify the cost. Sellbrite's popular. What's another? Geek Seller. They're all very popular. But you can just manage your inventory and your management of these sales in one platform. Because it gets to be really time consuming here if you change the inventory or like a picture for one. You don't have to update it in 5 different places. So this way you can manage it from Shopify. You can manage it from Shopify, eBay, Amazon, and Etsy all in one place. And even Walmart too, I think now. Now with Amazon, you have to have, what are they called? UPC codes or whatever. There's ways around that. I can help you with that if you want. So what I would do, I'd go to Amazon, go to gift basket. I would go look at these ones that rank high. I mean, they're ranking high, so something's going on. I would go and I would look at this is where I do a lot of keyword research at, right? So this looks something like you would do. This is a good keyword, spa, life, all natural. So that's a good keyword, all natural. Luxury, spa, gift set. And let's look at the keywords they're using here. Are you incorporating all of these keywords? Also, don't forget to look at here. And don't forget to look down at the comments as well. Housewarming. Masculine. So you can see there's all kinds of good information to be had. You just got to know where to look and be aware to go get it. So like launching a product for me, it's not for me. If you look at my websites, they're not really for the clients that I work with. It's not as simple as just putting it up. I mean, it takes multiple days to create a product page. Not that you have to get that in depth, but you got to do your keyword research. You want to look at, photo manipulation, all this kind of stuff, writing the description, optimizing it properly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's that. So make sure you want to use Google Analytics so you can look at, obviously, the analytics of what's happening on your website, where people are coming from, ages, stuff like that. So you can use that for advertising. You can read about how to use it for SEO purposes. Make sure you're in Google Search Console. It's the dashboard for Google Search. It's where you're going to find out if something's wrong with your website, if the schema doesn't work, if the fonts are too small, et cetera, et cetera. Don't forget about Bing. Submit your website to Bing. I get about 10% of my traffic for most of my websites from Bing, and then Yahoo's there, but Bing pushes out to Yahoo and DuckDuckGo, and then international search engines, right? So you may be wondering, why do I need to be in Baidu or Yandex in Russia? These people are not going to buy from me. Well, that's probably true. I mean, it's 100% true unless they want to pay a crazy amount for shipping, but they can come across your content. And if they do read your content, that's one more visitor to your website, right? Now, I get less than 1% of my content visitors from international search engines, but it's a one-time setup. So it's like no big deal. There might be one person, that hasn't happened yet, that reads my content from Russia and shares it to a social media channel that has 8 million followers. You know what I mean? You just need that one person. Now, I would also subscribe to this free newsletter here. It's the best newsletter out there because it summarizes news from all over the web. You don't have to, so you don't have to subscribe to 27 different newsletters. I would follow the official Google Webmasters account. I would follow John Moos, like one of the lead search trends guy at Google, on Twitter. Both these are on Twitter. And then if you want a spreadsheet I use to track things month to month, let me know and I'd be happy to give it to you. And that is it. And we have gone on, I don't even know. I can't even see the timer. I think my computer fell asleep. But again, this is just a lot. You just take what made sense to you. You're not going to be able to do all this. Don't get overwhelmed. I'd rather present you with a lot more. Like some people would do this and give you 20 minutes and leave out a lot of stuff. I'd rather give you a lot more and you can whittle down what you think's going to work for you rather than not giving you enough and possibly missing something that would have resonated with you. So I hope you found this useful. I would greatly appreciate a review with a few sentences telling me what you like, perhaps maybe that would help others if they want to possibly choose my gig. Of course, you're allowed to leave a negative review, but I would just ask if there's something I didn't cover that you would, before leaving a negative review, just allow me to answer any questions you might have. If you were planning on that, would really help me out a lot. But of course, if you want to, I guess you can, but that would be disappointing. But just let me know if you have any questions. I'm certainly here, whether it's tomorrow or, 2 weeks from now or 8 years from now. I'll be here to help you out. So good luck, and I hope this helped you. Have a good day.